go ahead and give my theory about channelers and tarot readers, oracle readers, because one thing that I have seen a lot across my feed is I've seen people that are channelers, they read tarot, they read oracle, and they do really give great channel messages because they are tapped in, they are utilizing their gifts, and their gift has made room for them. But then you have certain people where after a while they decide to just quit tarot and oracle just altogether, and they are very much against it. There are some that want to call it new age or whatever, but anyway, I'm gonna say what I have to say. Like, when it comes to the whole new age, it's not new age, it's ancient spirituality, ancient wisdom dating back to African spirituality. There is nothing fucking new age about that shit. So whenever I see new age, I'm like, I see people saying that, I'm like, okay, no. Anyway, and here's what I feel like the people that are spiritually gifted, they have those spiritual gifts, they've tapped into their energy, and they've really opened up their third eye, and they have done a lot of tarot and oracle readings, and they've pretty much built their platform off of mainly doing the readings. I feel like that's different versus the people that do those channel messages, but they just utilize their gifts. They don't always use the cards, because those people that like built their platform off of only using the tarot and the oracle cards, and that was the only way that the main way that they were getting a lot of their messages, because there are some tarot and oracle readers out there where they would do a message where they're like, these are no cards, I'm just channeling this directly. So yeah, you did have other ways. So it's not only, sorry that the only word slipped, but they mainly would use the tarot and the oracle cards. And when they built their whole entire platform off of using that, they were using the tool and utilizing that without having a balance of opening themselves up and just using their gifts, just without the cards. And in a way, I feel like they probably burnt themselves out of doing all the tarot and oracle readings, because using tarot and oracle, it does drain your energy. It takes a lot of energy in order for you to use that. You know what I'm saying? It does. So, and then when you're doing stuff, or you're doing like, those people that are like full-time readers and stuff like that, readings all day, like, yeah, it takes up a lot of energy and it takes a lot of commitment to do that. But those people that just built their platform just off of mainly using the cards, there's a reason that they got burnt out, because they just were overusing it. And then also, there's other things about how along their journey, they have had, just self-reflection and conversations with their higher self. And if they have decided that it is in their best interest to stop using the tarot cards and stop using the oracle cards, then by all means do so, But I feel like when it comes to on the opposite side, where you have the channelers, where they're clairvoyant, they're clairaudient, clairsentient, claircognizant. They don't need the cards in order to deliver a message, and they just deliver the message straight out, just open up their vessel to deliver the message. That's a little bit different than the people that built their entire platform off of mainly using the cards. I keep trying to say only, but it's mainly, sorry. But basically, when you have those channelers that are coming out, and they may use the cards if they want to, but when they use the cards, they use it by choice. Because if you have those channelers where their main source is pretty much where they are just that open vessel, that open channel, and the messages come through, they don't have any cards around them, they have fully tapped in and have fully are stepping into their gifts, and they're using their gifts. And then they look at, and when they use that more, just opening up themselves to use their gifts, they look at tarot and oracle as a tool that I can use by choice, by free will. But others, when they built their platform off of only using the tarot and the oracle, I feel as if they were mainly using that because they needed it in a way to help bring the messages out, and they did not allow themselves to practice while just opening themselves up to just deliver the messages. Instead, they focus mainly on using the cards. And when they focus mainly on that and they're not strengthening their gifts elsewhere, that's probably why they got burnt out. That's probably why they felt that it's not of God. That's probably why they felt so, so different, so off about it, Anyway, so I feel like when you have the channelers that they use the cards by choice and they may not use it very often. They may rarely use it or barely use it, or use it seldom, every once in a blue moon. But for the most part, they have built their platform off of just directly channeling. Those are the people that have really fully tapped into their gifts, and they realize I can be this open vessel and channel directly without the cards. I can still use the cards if I choose to, but they see that they have already opened themselves up to be the vessel. So they basically it's kind of like they worked the right way. And I feel like some people, they skip a step. Like they jump straight into the reading the tarot just so heavily, so religiously, instead of just starting at the bottom, starting at the foundation and strengthening their gifts. When you start at that foundation and strengthen your gifts and just open yourself up to be a channel, you have that connection. That foundation is solid. That foundation is solidified. So that way, I have all of this here. If I choose to use the tarot or oracle, I can choose to do so, or I can choose not to. It's entirely up to me. But another thing is that in order for people to really tap into those messages, that wisdom, the wisdom comes from your wounds. Whenever I come out here and I channel a message and I'm talking about a situation and I'm describing an energy of a person or a situation or a group of people that you have dealt with in your past, it's because collectively we learned the same lesson. We learned the same principle. It was a different scenario, of course, and they're not always identical, but we were dealing with the same type of energy. And when I'm dealing with my wounds and I'm processing the situation and I'm gaining an understanding of what we have been through, also an understanding of what I was going through, that's what I bring out the channel message, because that's where the wisdom comes from the wound of the pain that I have been through. That's why those messages hit so hard and there's so much truth, because the same thing that you walked through, I walked through. The same thing you experienced, I experienced. It wasn't identical, because maybe in my situation, I was dealing with, a group of female girls in a sorority, but maybe for you, it was dealing with a group of co-workers, you know what I'm saying, or teammates or classmates or whomever it could be, but the energy is the same, even though the supporting details are different. And when I'm tapping into that, when I tap into my gifts, I tap into my energy, and I'm processing the situation and I'm healing those wounds, out comes the wisdom, and then I outpour the wisdom that I've gained from processing it. When wisdom is gained, wisdom needs to be shared. So I'm giving the wisdom of the understanding of the energy and the overstanding of what we can learn from the situation. That's different. That's just me explaining that, just digressing. But honestly, I really feel like the difference is that some people just went straight into tarot without strengthening that muscle of strengthening their gifts first. That's why you probably are thinking that, tarot is not of God, or tarot is demonic, tarot is this. No, it's not. You didn't build your foundation yet. You didn't solidify your foundation. You didn't master the skill of your gift yet. And you were tapping into something without going on the foundation yet. That's why it was a faulty foundation. That's like you wanting to build a house, but you're starting on, like, you barely built the first floor, but you're putting so much work on the second floor that you haven't put enough foundation to solidify the first floor. So of course that second floor is going to crumble down when there's not a strong enough foundation on the first floor. And don't shit on other people just because you built your house wrong. And not that you were shitting on other people, but don't think that, like, you were doing something that was demonic and not of God because you did it wrong. And that's what it boils down to. You kind of did it wrong. And you got to start in your foundation. You have to start with strengthening your gifts first. So yeah, if you have the gift and you want to channel more messages, you're going to have to do a lot more. The spiritual work comes from the healing work. You got to do a lot more healing work. You got to do a lot more self-reflecting. Maybe put the tarot cards down. Like, if you're using the tarot cards to distract you because you don't want to deal with your pain and your wounds, that's probably why. Because you're avoiding your own healing work. So the people that come out here and bring these channel messages is because they have actually tapped into their wounds and processed that, so they actually can give the wisdom from self-reflecting and from healing. The healing work equals the spiritual work. You can't cheat the whole spiritual process. Y'all be trying to skip steps. That's why it be having issues, because y'all skip steps.